Okay, good afternoon. Great to see everyone again. Kind of a recap from a couple nights ago and moving on to Arkansas State. But from a competitive standpoint, I liked the way we competed. I thought our players were ready to go. I thought they did a great job of really preparing themselves mentally and physically for game day. And they put in the work. And we talk about investing in victory each and every week, earning the right to win as opposed to hoping to win. And I thought our players did a pretty decent job with that, considering a lot of these individuals going through it for the first time of their in-game preparation and weekly preparation. I thought they did a good job with our in-game management, our overall management of the sidelines. Always had the appropriate personnel out in the field, so that was great to see. Offensively, we took care of the football. From a communicative aspect, I thought our communication was about above average. We need to continue to improve in that. I thought defensively we did a good job on staying ahead of the chains, staying ahead of the sticks, and forcing third and long situations. However, major improvements must occur with this football team, and it starts with special teams. I was not pleased at all with our performance on special teams. We did not play winning football. In the team's game, we spend too much time, we invest too much time in our special teams game, and everyone taking ownership in their role, executing their assignment, and doing their job. And we chart impactful plays. Every individual can impact the game in one way, shape, form, or another. And so with Arkansas State coming here on a noon game, we need to continue to improve in all facets of special teams. Didn't think we had much rhythm and consistency offensively, especially in the first half. We had great field position, and we should have had more points at halftime, and too many 3-and-outs, and weren't able to extend drives. Defensively, even though we had a couple forced turnovers, I didn't necessarily like our ball disruptions. I didn't think we were trying to get the ball out. I didn't think we swarmed to the football that we expect our defenses to play here, so we need to take major strides that way. And then the ability to run the football. We averaged 2.8 yards per rush. I don't look at averages, though. I look at run efficiency. And what's the definition of an efficient run? An efficient run is 4 yards or more, or if it's second and short, third and short, you get the first down, because your average rush or yards per carry can be misstrued, because you may have one 80-yard run and the rest you're below average. But when you look at the average, it looks good. So I'm more interested in realistic statistics, and that's run efficiency. And I didn't think we did a very good job there. So we have to be able to run the ball a little bit more. Next challenge now for this young football team, just a little less than 50% made their debut. And offensively, there was only one starter that started the game that started last year's Kentucky game. So we started 10 new faces on offense. And we need to continue to develop this week of preparation. With it being a short week is critical. The next evolution of this football team is learning how to prepare your minds and your bodies for a noon start, a 12 o'clock game, adjusting your body clocks, and that's a little bit different as well in your preparation and your mindset. So again, everything continues to be new learning experience as we continue to grow and mature as a football team. Arkansas State comes in here. Their players expect to win no matter who the head coach has been. They win, and they go to bowl games. And you look at their body of work over a long period of time, it's very, very impressive. They're an up-tempo, no-huddle offense. They like to snap the ball exceptionally quick. Their offensive line does a great job. Their center's the gas pedal, and he does a great job. They all do, sprinting to the line of scrimmage and getting lined up. They have one of the best punters, kickers in the country. He can flip field position in a hurry. And so they're a very good football team. They're a veteran group in the back end of their defense in the secondary, and they'll pose our receivers some great challenges. They're very physical. They run to the football. Their quarterback is dynamic with the ball in his hands, but he can also distribute the football. They have good wide receivers, so a good football team. And our football team has to come and ready to play Saturday at noon. The other challenge is we need Vol Nation. We had the best football environment in the country. 102-455, our fans were outstanding. It didn't matter, rainbows, rain, shine, they were here, and they stayed to the end. Our student section was outstanding. The Rocky Top Rowdies now, as we call them, and we're going to need everyone, and I'm told, again, we're going to be close to a sellout. And so we need everyone to buy their tickets and support this football team and continue to make one of the greatest venues in all of college football a home field advantage for this young football team. So I'll answer any questions you may have.
Butch, anything you could pinpoint with the running game, the problems there?
Yeah, you know, when you look at it, John, so much of your run game, it's all 11 individuals working together as one. And there was about 8 incidences where we ran the football and we were 1 block away. And a lot of times it's your backside cutoffs, it's your linemen not being on the proper landmark of the defender. You know, everything is moving. It's going to where they're going to be. It's the discipline, staying low with pad level. And it's not just the offensive line. It may be the tight end on a combination block. It may be the back taking his proper read. It may be the quarterback keeping it. So there was a lot of just, you know, single breakdowns. And so we're working to get that corrected.
Special teams, I guess, which was there any particular unit you were disappointed?
All of them. All of them exceptionally disappointing. Everything starts with operation time. Our punt was too long. Our field goal execution was too long. Didn't like our coverage on the punt team. Kickoff team, the kickers didn't do a good job of placing the ball in the box. They sprayed the football, which really put your coverage team in some very challenging situations. Our kickoff return team, we didn't maintain our blocks. We didn't play in space very well. You know, a couple times we had some field returns. You know, we've changed our scheme a little bit this year with some little nuances, and we weren't able to get the ball back to the field. So there was a lot of things. And again, in special teams, it's 1 out of 11. Everyone has a job assignment to do, and again, it's impacting the game. And some of these individuals, you know, they may only have 4 or 5 plays in a game, but you can impact the game. If, you know, if you're the right guard on kickoff return, you may get only a few snaps, but why don't you be the best right guard in the country, in America? And that's what we've challenged our players each and every day. We invest too much time, as you guys are all aware of, in special teams to come out and perform like that. And we have a lot of new faces, a lot of young players. I think the speed of the game from a special teams game was kind of a shock to them. But again, it's the body positions. We were in awkward body positions. We weren't in a knee-bent power position. So it's just a magnitude of a lot of little things.
Did you take a look at different returners back there, or?
No, it wasn't the returners. You know, Cam Sutton had a big hand as a punt returner in terms of helping us win the football game, because I'm going to still say it, one of the hardest skill sets in all of football is to catch a punt with a 4.0 hang time. And you have the coverage team has 6.5 seconds to run down the field and make a tackle or force a fair catch. And I thought his concentration was outstanding, but he was never given an opportunity because we didn't win at the line of scrimmage. We didn't stay in return phase. And so just the small details of what it takes to play winning football on the teams we didn't do a good job of.
Which, how do you make any changes this week, you know, with it being a short week, and how to try to keep their routine somewhat similar to a normal game week?
Well, we came in on on Monday, and we got right to work. But, you know, you have to be cognizant of it was a short week for us. It was a physical football game. And so you have to keep that in mind. But we have a lot of work to do, and it's a balancing act. But, you know, this football team must understand what's at stake. The more you win, the more that's at stake. And what you did last week has absolutely no bearing on the outcome this week. And you have to have a short-term memory. No matter if you win or you lose, you put it behind you and you move on. And that's what we've been stressing against a very, very good football team coming in here.
Where are you with Michael? Where's Michael and Matt from the 2 noticeable injuries that we saw Sunday? I'm sorry, Jake, and Matt.
Matt Darr will be out in practice today. He'll be fine. He just rolled his ankle, so he'll fine, and he'll go through punt period and he'll go through practice. In terms of Gilliam, he'll be out for the year. He tore his ACL, so it's very, very unfortunate. You know, I feel for him. I feel for his family. Here's a young man that I love him to death. Walk-on who earned a scholarship. He earned it. And It's very, very unfortunate, but that's football. Next guy in, it'll be an opportunity for Brett Kendrick. It'll be an opportunity for Dontavius Blair, Coleman Thomas. So it'll be a great opportunity. We've been preparing these guys, but I just feel for Jacob, just because, you know, he's earned the respect of his peers and he's worked so hard to put himself in position to be our starting left tackle.
Is anybody ahead of anybody at that left tackle spot?
No.
The competition with those two guys?
We'll compete for it this week.
Does Arkansas State run a similar defensive scheme as Utah State?
No, a little bit different, more similar style to our defense. But again, they're very, very talented in the back end of their defense. They run well, and they're very, very, very physical. Their linebackers are physical downhill, and their defensive front is very active. So again, it'll be a different scheme for us in terms of moving forward from what we saw from Utah State.
Coach, with so many new players playing in the opener, do you feel more confident about your ability to win with these guys after seeing them in action?
Well, it's ongoing, and you know, you build that trust, you know, over a body of work, over a course of time. But these kids love football. They need football in their lives. They understand what they're representing every time they represent the University of Tennessee. But again, you win the week through your efforts in practice, and then you take the practice to the game field. And so, again, this is a new week. They have to earn the respect again. They have to earn the right to win. So, again, what they did last week has no bearing on this week, and that's something that we'll continue to harp on them. And we're educating a football team. Again, these individuals have no idea. I bet you a good 12 of them after the game came up to me and said, "Coach, I now get what you've been saying. I now have experienced it." You know, and you think about it, all the emotions of going through your first game, you show up and there's about 55,000 people to greet you at the Vol Walk. That's a powerful, energetic experience in and of itself. And then going through your pregame and then all of a sudden having a pouring rainstorm. You know, and then maybe having the consequences of having to push back your pregame warm-up, or, you know, you're preparing for a lightning delay, and all those things, all those clutter and distractions, and 17, 18-year-olds that are going through it for the first time. That's why I thought they handled the in-game management pretty well for a first game.
You mentioned Arkansas State wins regardless of the coach. They've had 5 head coaches in 5 years. How difficult do you think that is on players adjusting to all the different schemes?
Well, I think it's how you look at it. It is difficult because, you know, we know firsthand you win with consistency and continuity, but those have been some great coaches, and they have a great coaching staff there again. Their players are well prepared. They challenge you schematically in special teams and all the different looks that they present, and then their little nuances schematically in offense and defense as well. So they're an extremely well-coached football team. They play with great effort. They have a passion to get to the football, but everything is how you look at it, just like in life. You know, they've been touched by some great football coaches, so they learn the fine details of football fundamentals. And so, you know, it can also be, you know, it can be held to one's advantage because of all the different coaches you go through, and you learn different things about the game of football. But they have a great coaching staff in place right now, and I have a lot of respect for them. Yes, found out yesterday, and he was still in our team meeting, and I've spoken briefly with him, and we'll continue to have dialogue. But, you know, our players want him around. Shoot, they wanted to already move his locker to be next to the other tackles, you know, and that's kind of the mindset, the buy-in, I don't like to say buy-in, but the investment of this football team right now. They're thinking the game, they're thinking about each other. And that was great to see. But again, I love him. I love his family. I love everything that they stand for.
How's he reacting? I know you didn't get to talk to him long, but
Right.
how's he?
Disappointed. You know, he's put a lot of hard work and a lot of effort and a lot of commitment into it. And but it'll serve him for years down the road with handling adversity and persevering, and he'll be better from it. But obviously, you know, you'd expect him to be down when you invest so much in it.
Coach, could you kind of describe what Freddie Knighton looks like? I think he obviously he was passed a lot, and he was their leading rusher and even caught a pass or something versus Montana State.
Explosive, dynamic with the ball in his hands, has to be accounted for in everything that he does, and can distribute the football in all ways that you just mentioned. That's what he can do. He can flip field position. He can change the game in one snap.
Which it looked like Crawford and TK were kind of at that other safety spot next to Randolph, but Ladero McNeil started. What did y'all see in him that kind of that he earned that spot?
With
McNeil.
just consistency and some experience, but we'll continue to evaluate our secondary. The individuals you just spoke about will continue to compete week in and week out, and that'll ever be evolving, as this football team continues to evolve. But Ladero McNeil has had a very, very good training camp.
Which will you seek a potential medical redshirt for Gill?
Right now, no. We're looking into everything and anything and everything, trying to exhaust all measures. But right now, we're still in the investigative stages of that.
Do you know Trooper Taylor?
Just a little bit, not much, but understand him being at Tennessee and being a longtime coach in the SEC and all that. So I've had a chance to meet him a few times, but not a personal relationship where we've gotten together before. Just met him, and I know a lot of people who do know him and speak very fondly of him.
How much can you already had to replace all of last year's starters in the offensive line, trying to work to develop chemistry. How much of a concern is that now, kind of having to adjust the pieces?
Well, it's a concern from an overall depth standpoint. That's where your concern comes from. We've repped a number of individuals all training camp. We've had a plan in place. You always have contingency plans as coaches. And so the great thing is Kendrick, Coleman, Thomas, Blair, they've all garnered first-team repetitions. So in terms of teaching it or learning it, they've had as many reps as Jacob has, but now it's the individuals working together. The great thing is they'll be next to Marcus Jackson, who I thought played a very, very good football game Sunday night, and he's experienced.
Is this left knee or right knee?
I don't know.
Anybody else?
Just Vaughn Pearson had a touchdown last week.
My informative sources tell me it's his left knee.
With all he's gone through and just his attitude, how much of a lift has he been for his receiving corps?
Who, I'm sorry?
Vaughn Pearson.
Vaughn brings it every day. He's grateful and thankful to be here. And he always has a smile on his face, and he works exceptionally hard, and he loves to compete. He's a great competitor. And we talk about competing for greatness in all that we do, whether it's off the field, in the community, in the classroom, or on the football field. And he has great competitive character and great competitive makeup. Now, again, consistency. I told him the first catch, that ball was up past his ear. I said, you're going to give me a heart attack on the sidelines. So it's taking care of the football as well with him.
Coach Jalen Hurd, where do you think he can get better from game one to game two? I know you're big on that.
Right.
First week, what are a couple of things you feel like he can easily fix it for him?
Well, first of all, pass protection. And, the first sack he gave up, he didn't sink his hips. He got bull rushed, and he's really consistently been one of our best pass protectors in all of training camp. And after that one, I think that was a little hello, welcome to college football, and then he settled down. But I just think, your overall instincts, fundamentals, fine details, pass protection, route running, and your run reads and understanding how to run at angles and set your blockers up. Great running backs place the linemen on their blocks. And so just the fine details at that position. And I think you'll see Jalen continue to improve day in and day out and week in and week out.
How valuable is he as a pass catcher?
Very able. He's a weapon, and we're going to get him, the ball more on the perimeter in some different sets. You may even see him in the slot at times because he's got very soft hands and he's good with the ball in his hands.
But he had a good block, it looked like, on Pig Howard's touchdown.
Yes, he did.
Did he show that in preseason camp that he's naturally a pretty good blocker?
Yes, and you're exactly right. Thanks, John, for bringing that up. Alton Howard did a great job of finishing the run, but, we talk about the junction point and the point of attack, and, Alton would have never got in the end zone if it wasn't for Jalen Hurd. And to me, that was one of the best plays Jalen had all game, and it wasn't, we talk about playing without the ball in your hands and impacting the game. And you can impact the game from a running back standpoint more than just carrying the ball. And that's part of being a complete running back. And you're exactly right. He was the reason why Alton was able to get the ball into the checkerboards.
Coach, Jalen hadn't played, in a game. He missed virtually his whole senior year. With all the practices in training camp, is it still possible to have that rust? I mean, do you think that was, the case? Do you think he forced the issue a little bit? I'm sure he was beyond jacked.
No, I thought Jalen played well. He got the tough yards. And again, a 4-yard run is a good run. 4 plus 4 plus 4, if I'm not mistaken, equals 12. Is that right, Hubs? Okay. So that's a first down. And you get 4 yards first, and the big runs will come. Jalen earned tough yards. I thought he ran behind his pads. The screenplay, again, but Daniel Helm made the screenplay with his block at the point of attack, made that occur. But nobody sees that. So again, those are all the things when we talk about playing complementary football and playing together as one. But I thought Jalen, for his first game, did some really good things to build upon. In terms of him missing his senior year, I think he benefited from being an early enrollee. So he is able to kind of gain that back through the winter months in strength and conditioning, and then also in spring football having those 15 opportunities.
You held the Montana State film to go by, but how tough is it to prepare for an Arkansas State team with two coordinators that are in their first year with that personnel?
Well, it's a challenge. And again, you have the Montana State game, but also, you have to look at, other forms of where they've been and kind of try to say, okay, what games are they going to look at? How are they going to try to, schematically line up against us? So it's a great challenge, and especially with a young football team, you have to be ready again for anything and everything. So it's still another game of the unknowns because we only have one film on them. And, a lot of times the packages on offense, defense, and special teams will continue to expand and grow from week 1 to week 2, just like we'll do some different things as well. But again, you have to be ready for anything and everything.
With the youth and this game being seen, I imagine they're being told how good they are around campus and stuff, and then Oklahoma's looming right ahead. It's kind of a sandwich game. How do you make sure they're zoned in on this week?
Well, we haven't done anything yet. We won one football game. And Arkansas State's a good football team, and it gets back to, I think you already know the answer, the power of one. One common commitment, one common purpose, one mindset, one opponent at a time, one practice at a time. All I want to do is win the day. I want to be a better football team as soon as we walk off the fields of the Anderson Training Complex. That's what I want, is to be a better football team in the power of one. And our players have done a good job with that to date. I don't foresee that being any problem at all. But again, just focus on the one thing. And if each player can better their game, just one thing, collectively we improve as a football team.
What do you see Chris Weatherd's role be?
Well, Chris is a very talented young man. And as he continues to grasp the knowledge of the defensive scheme and also on special teams, you'll see his role continue to be elevated within our schemes. But he's very explosive, can run. He's a big-bodied individual who can run, and that's the type of individuals we need to recruit here to improve our roster. And football is very, very important to him, and he's done a great job of picking things up. When you look at it, it's kind of remarkable. Chris didn't arrive till August. And to be doing what he's doing in a very short period of time, I'm excited to see what he can do when he gets a couple weeks of true practices, not just training camp, but he's an individual who should continue to grow and develop and get better and better.
How evident was it also that your defense showed a lot more speed in this game than maybe it did in any game last year?
Well, I thought we ran to the football. We're still not quite, though, of what we expect, our expectations and our demands of how we're going to play defense here. But I did see marked improvement. I thought our players played with confidence. But again, I thought for the first game we tackled fairly decent, when you look at our tackling percentages. But still, long way to go. You know, from being able to apply pressure with a 3-man rush, with a 4-man rush. You know, we gave up a couple big runs. We misfit a couple runs. We were too wide in our alignments that exposed us in some passes. So again, alignment and assignment, that's where it starts. And we still had too many alignment breakdowns and assignment breakdowns that we need to improve going into Arkansas State. But I see progress, Jimmy, to answer your question in a nutshell. I see progress.
You talked about Josh Smith having a strong fall camp. From a confidence standpoint, how big do you think that that first catch was for him when he was able to make a big play?
Well, big. And everything about the game is confidence, but you earn your confidence through your body of work and your consistency and performance. And Josh has been consistent all camp, and it was great to see him again start off with that big run and catch. But again, how come you didn't bring up the block by Alton Howard? Without the block by Alton Howard, that long pass never happens. And again, that's what we talk about, playing together as a unit. The power of the position, power of the unit, making plays for each other, being unselfish. And again, that was as big of a play that Alton had as anyone, is springing that block for Josh to be able to have the big run and catch.
When Jacob went out Sunday night, Kendrick kind of finished the game. Have you seen him develop since he got here? I know you were kind of hard on him last year around practice when he was redshirting.
Well, he's continued to develop, and he's done a very good job of it. Now it's for real. But he's really taken coaching. He listens to every word Coach Mahoney says. I started to see him play with a little bit more of a mentality of what we expect. Not there yet, not anywhere what we expect, but I've seen marked improvement in his development. He's very intelligent, and he's very athletic. I'm excited to see how far he can take this.
The fact you just got finished playing and succeeding against a mobile quarterback, how can that help prepare you for what you're going to face Saturday night?
It helps, but you're talking about two totally different dynamics at quarterback. What we do defensively will be a little bit different than Utah State, but you know, every game is a new story. Every game takes on kind of a flavor of its own, so you'll see some differences. But both are very good quarterbacks, but they're particularly different. They're different with each other.
It's a totally different dynamic. In what way? How do you
They're going to involve the quarterback more in the run game and reads and called plays for the quarterback. He's the catalyst. He makes it happen. Whether it's throwing the ball, whether it's running the football, they have designed run schemes for him, and very rightfully so. He's very dynamic.
Coach, the 6 for 6 in the red zone, when you went back and looked at film, what were some of the things that you noticed that allowed you guys to be that efficient in that area of the field?
Well, that's one of our keys to winning football games, is efficiency in the red zone and being efficient. And when we get the ball in the red zone, you have to take advantage of it. The whole key to red zone efficiency is scoring touchdowns as opposed to kicking field goals. Although we weren't able to get much rhythm and consistency and continuity offensively in the first half, what I did like is we were able to score touchdowns for the most part in the red zone. We get the great turnover by our kickoff team. We converted into 7 points. If we converted into 3 points, that's really a win for the defense. So being able to, when you get in the red zone, to score 7 as opposed to 3. But again, we spent a lot of time with our red zone and working within the red zone, because that's one of the keys to winning football games.
Will Aaron Medley continue to be your field goal kicker and kickoff specialist?
They'll continue to compete each and every day, and whoever has the most productivity in practice will be our kicker, and week in and week out. So we compete in everything that we do in our football program, and the place kicker is no different.
ESPN mentioned that the GPS trackers and the shoes that Jalen was one of the fastest on the team this evening. When you guys crunch those numbers, is he the fastest guy out there?
He's one of our fastest players. From game speed repetitions, and that's one of the things from our sports science department that we really track is, you know, the amount of miles we spend each and every day. It's really amazing when you think of it, what the bodies of these young kids go through each and every day with practice, and that's why rest, recovery, nutrition, you know, hydration, you know, the training room with Jason McVay, all those are critical pillars of your football program. We spent a lot of time in the sports science end of things.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you.